Let's jump right into news because this morning, more than 10,000 people in Newfoundland and Labrador are now being told, get ready to leave your home as new flames threaten communities there.
Again, Mother Nature continues not to cooperate with us, and crews again are up against the same hot temperatures and high winds throughout the day that they faced over the weekend.
The new evacuation alert is for people living near St. John's. This is all because of a new fire near Paddy's Pond, which officials say is moving really fast. The fire is also threatening a major transmission line bringing power into St. John's. Officials are warning that smoke and flames could lead to significant power disruptions. Across the province, about 3,000 people have already been forced to leave their homes because of a 50 square kilometre fire burning in the Conception Bay North area. Premier John Hogan says the number of firefighters from the military will double to 80.
For the first time, I believe ever, we've actually requested boots on the ground from our neighbors.
In New Brunswick, 3 wildfires are burning out of control. Homeowners in several communities are on alert. Fires are burning in the Miramichi area, Irishtown, as well as the Bathurst region. The province has now reached out for additional help and says 30 out-of-province firefighters are being brought in. So 20 firefighters are on the way from Nova Scotia, 5 are coming from PEI, and 5 more are coming from Maine.
Having something so close and just being like in view practically from where I'm standing right now is very it catches you off guard.
I bet. A significant forest fire continues to burn in Ontario's cottage country. Firefighters are working to contain this out-of-control fire that's burning in Kawartha Lakes. Officials say roughly 27 hectares are actively burning in a heavily wooded area. This area, by the way, it's about 2 hours northeast of Toronto. So far, evacuation orders have not been issued, but officials are warning unpredictable winds could quickly change that. New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt is asking people in her province to think of the bigger picture when it comes to temporary rules banning people from going into forests.
We're asking you to make the safe choice for our first responders, for your neighbors, and for our woods.
Government officials say the ban ensures emergency resources can be directed to where they're needed most. New Brunswick and Nova Scotia have taken this step as they try to limit the threat of fire. There has been pushback for some people on these measures. Meanwhile, PEI in Newfoundland and Labrador are still letting people enter forests, but have raised the fines for violating fire bans. We are just days now away from Air Canada flight attendants potentially walking off the job, demanding a better collective deal.
We're required to be at the aircraft an hour before boarding to ensure that the aircraft is safe from our end. We are also not paid for any of our boarding time, any of our deplaning time. If there is a medical emergency on the ground and we're providing vital, life-saving first aid, we're not compensated for that.
So a massive show of solidarity as hundreds of Air Canada flight attendants stood silently. More than 400 flight attendants stood on the sidewalk outside Pearson Airport in Toronto, while hundreds of other flight attendants did the same in Calgary, Vancouver, and Montreal. The main issues are wages and unpaid work. The current deal only pays these flight attendants for the time their plane is in motion. So the airline released a statement that reads, in part, quote, Air Canada remains at the bargaining table and is focused on achieving a negotiated settlement with CUPE, one that recognizes the contributions of its flight attendants by making them the best compensated in the country, end quote. By the way, the deadline to reach a deal, that's midnight Friday, but the union has voted over 99% in favor of a strike. They would need to give a 72-hour strike notice as soon as Wednesday. An 18-year-old has been charged in connection with a head-on collision that killed a father of 3. The victim's family is now calling for justice.
Andrew is a gift to this world. The funniest guy.
CTV News has learned that driver was also charged in a crash involving Ontario Premier Doug Ford in January. Andrew Castillo was 35 years old. He had 3 young daughters. On Sunday, August the 3rd, his car was hit head-on by another driver. He died instantly. His wife, Christina, was able to rescue their 3 daughters. They're now recovering in the hospital. Meanwhile, 18-year-old Jaywin Kirubananthan has been charged with dangerous driving, causing death, and dangerous driving, causing bodily harm. He's also charged with making a false statement and accused of failing to remain at the scene. A crowdfunding campaign set up to help the family has raised more than $337,000 so far. One person has now died in hospital following that powerful house explosion we showed you yesterday in Barrie. The 45-year-old man was the only one home when the house exploded. This happened just before noon on Saturday. The Ontario Fire Marshal has now taken over this investigation. They're searching for what may have caused such a massive explosion. You know that Parkside Drive speed enforcement camera in Toronto? It is back for now.
This is not a joke, folks. Speed kills. There's a reason why there are speed camera there.
So, crews reinstalled the camera again yesterday. It's been chopped down 6 times in 9 months, most recently on July 9th. And that happened even after a surveillance camera was installed to keep an eye on this camera. The speed camera was installed in 2022. It has issued more than 66,000 tickets, bringing in more than $7 million in fines for the city. Well, here's one way to be part of next year's FIFA World Cup.
It's a really, really exciting time for Vancouver and also for FIFA. This is the largest volunteer program of any FIFA event.
FIFA is putting out a call for volunteers in every host city. Of course, that includes Vancouver and Toronto. About 3,000 volunteers are needed for the 7 games being hosted at BC Place. They need roughly the same number of volunteers for the games that will be played in Toronto. So here are basically the rules. Applicants must be at least 18 years old, be available between June 11th and July 19th of next year. Swifties probably have a bit of whiplash today after Taylor Swift announced a brand new album.
So I wanted to show you something.
Okay, what do we got?
We got,
A briefcase.
Yep.
Mint green with TS
Yep.
on it.
Yep.
What's in it?
This is my brand new album, The Life of a Showgirl.
She made the announcement on the Kelsey Brothers podcast after a pretty intense 24 hours of speculation. So here's how it all played out. Rumors started yesterday morning after Taylor Swift's marketing team posted 12 photos to social media with the caption, "Thinking about when she said, see you next era." This is Taylor's 12th studio album. Don't have a release date yet. That was a fun way to do it, though.